Zohar talked about the Messiah having to be crucified.
Everything is in the Zohar. See, they have secrets. They've locked up the secrets, and they don't enter. They don't allow others to enter. But he is teaching the fools to enter, you see, so he can prove that it was him doing it, not you teaching us, Peter. You had a duty to do as a king of Naphtali. Naphtali?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Naphtali. Galilee area. But he is not an authority over Jerusalem, the king of Jerusalem. But that's what he wanted. He wanted the lower church to be an authority of the higher fire, the higher church. And that's the problem. And he thinks because it's Kabbalah, well, that just puts you into your place. Because it's a higher fire that he doesn't understand. So they automatically think what they don't understand is evil. He's been telling me that for a long time. They're going to think you're evil because you're at a higher church than they are. And it's a fire. Each level has angels protecting them. And it's literally a fire. It's literally the colors of the fire. Because he is a fire, is he not? So when these lower churches want to judge the upper churches, the fire as evil. And that's why even the ones that reached in, the prophets that got to reach the high levels, they all thought they were crazy and killed them. It was because they reached the highest. That was the same as Yeshua. They reached the highest. And you think you wouldn't do it today? You think you wouldn't make Eliyahu go and hide because everybody hates him? But I'm here doing what? What evil have I done but curse the idolatries in the land and slaughtered a lamb to shed blood on Mount of Olives, so that in that place his kingdom can literally come down and basically bring judgment upon the world because of unholiness. I'm here so that the Jews that don't belong here go away, the Muslims that don't belong here go away, and the Christians that belong here don't go away. That don't belong here go away. And there's probably only going to be 10% of the city left. You know why? It's Abba's will. You know why? Because nobody has the guts to be in the fire. And so the fire is going to push them away. Can't help it. That's what it does. So when they felt, they were all blessed and felt the love and felt everything. It was this fire. But as soon as this fire got angry, because the Father was getting angry and went to bring something up, and I feel the agitation in people's pride. I feel people's garments. That's what I'm here to do. It's the Kabbalah is Kabbalah is receiving light. The Kabbalah is basically, you know what Kabbalah is? The menorah that's empty, receiving the oil from the Father. That's all it is. Plain and simple. That's our symbol. We're supposed to be filled with his oil. And those who have the highest level get their crown. Every single one is about a feast, and every single one is about rising up as a tree and having your palms in the heavens so that you can have fruit down here on the earth. And that's what I get to do now. Whatever I ask for, he does. But I learned to only do now what I see the Father doing. And so that's what I do. When he brought it in my heart that I would be doing this, he even told me I was going to do it. I said, Abba, I can't even think about it, because if I think about it, I'll get nervous, and I wouldn't be able to get one word out or do anything. I would start to shake. And he's like, okay, just trust me, and I'll make it all happen. And that's what he did. He's my Abba. And he made a perfect lamb that you call blemished. You know what you're calling the blemish, that black spot? You're calling the blemish, you're calling it the law. That's what you're doing. You're judging yourself, all of you. Because that blemish is literally a symbol. What he told me was a symbol of the head, which is Yehuda. And that's the problem. You don't want the head. Noahide laws was for the nations, we're talking this for savages and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that's what we have to keep. I'm here to make sure. I prayed, and he had me speak in tongues and do all kinds of stuff before I even went to that meeting. Whoever doesn't receive the king can't be part of the Sanhedrin. That's just the way it goes. So I'm here to cause controversy everywhere. I've got the guts. I'm sending videos telling them I'm the one they've been waiting for, basically. You don't think you think I don't think that's how nuts that is? I'm still a man. But I know the one that lives in me. And I know he's been telling me. He's been telling me it for years. It's actually one of the big times that he told me was on a video that I was filming here while I was in Jerusalem on Facebook Live. When I went, oh, because he downloaded to me at that instant what it was I was going to be. When he laid down the palm leaves and I was on my scooter running down and I was all sad that the Jews weren't receiving me. They weren't receiving their long lost brother. And I was really sad, and I hear, I'll receive you. And then he says, I'll receive you as king. And I'm like, and then I start to learn more and more and more. And unless I'm hoping there's somebody else here, I'm hoping the Messiah, maybe there's a real Messiah that's basically, more so than what he's telling me. And I'm hoping he makes himself known if that was the case. But so far, he made all these things, and me to make all these things happen, to be made known now. He wants his spirit, and he wants to be known. That's why I said his name, that people would have killed me in the past. Right? I'm surprised I haven't been yet. But that was a fulfillment of prophecy as well. Because they know it's written, when the name is released and they can no longer contain it, they will know that the Mashiach is bringing the children home. These are all prophecies taking place. Rabbi Kaduri was one of the best Kabbalists in the world, and that's why he saw the Mashiach. But he knew the problems it was going to cause within his own people. So he waited. He's like, I'll do it after I'm dead. How about bless him? How about bless him, bless him, bless him? That because of him, the people will see the truth. Because of him, the Kabbalists, that's why I say God bless the Kabbalists, because they'll see him first. They will be the ones that will connect. They will be the hidden Levites. See, the hidden Levites, he teaches us Kabbalah by itself. See, you like to call even the tree of knowledge of good and evil. How we call that evil? It's not evil. What is evil is disobedience, is witchcraft. You do what he tells you to do. If he tells you to go touch the tree, then you touch the tree. All I know is he's been teaching me since the 80s, and I'm going to listen because he's my Abba, and he tells me what to do. And I'm here to bring the Father's heart to the children so they understand. And what broke the Levite's heart, Adam Berkovich has it on there. He says, it broke my heart and it changed me forever. When you said, Abba, bring your children home, he saw the Father's heart at that moment. And that's what the blood spilling was for. And you called it evil and you called it demonic, and you were bringing judgments upon your own heads because you're judging a judge that you don't understand. And so now you are all beneath me and beneath my feet. These are prayers that he had me say from a long time ago. I am here to bring the judgment to the world and bring the correction to all the religions and to all the things so that they know the one true Father, the one true Yah. That's what I'm here for. So let's listen to Peter. Peter, this is actual Peter. How many times are you going to deny him, Peter? How many times? You know that you've been dreaming about me, Peter. You know when you said you were fighting with somebody, you realized it was actually the Messiah he was fighting with? It was me. And yeah, Abba told me that back when he first did it, after I crowned him king. And you're trying to chase and catch up with somebody leaving a string. That's why that woman told me years ago, that prophetess told me, she goes, document all your experiences because it's going to help people. And that's what this was all about. I made myself a fool so that you guys can see the truth and see how to walk into this, that he's going to change you and transform you into a whole nother man. It's like the old man is still there, but he's like less than 10%, I guess. He's just he's down here. And the new man is up here, and it's like, okay, Father, hear and do. I'll listen, I'll obey. Shema Israel. Yahweh Echad. You see, when you have enough of your aura big enough, and you have enough of your lights lit up, and you have the crown, and you can actually, then we get into the 8th day where we have eternal life. And that, I got to experience 10 minutes of that, and wow. Yeah, you don't want to go there. You'll be burned. You'll be burned until you fully reach these levels. Okay? And so what you're talking about as evil, you're bringing judgments on your heads because you're leaders of the children. And this makes the Father very angry. So I love this man and his wife and his family, but I have to knock his pride down. It's just too much for the Father. That's it. That's why. I love all of you. But what you don't understand is if I don't do this now, you're going to be burned in the fire when it comes. So I'm here to make the garments ready. I'm a tailor, and I will expose your garment. And that's what you're going to think is evil. And so you automatically want to go back at me and say that's not evil. And all that they can all say is, that's not love. It just doesn't seem like love. Well, doesn't it say fierce anger? Even my son just prophesied to me and gave me a scripture that says the flesh
delights in your wrath.
The flesh delights in your wrath. And I do now. I do now. Because now I see. I'm just listening and doing, and now you're calling me evil for listening to my Abba. And I've done nothing wrong. Because I'm listening. I'm walking with the faith of Abraham. And you're judging it for evil. So let's go. Let's see.
Okay. That could be amazing things. I think Dr. Pigeon did an amazing job of explaining why he, and I agree with him, believes that it is more akin to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil than it is the tree of life, which it masquerades.
Yeah, well, just so you know, they kind of both have the same roots. But the thing is, and he showed me that many years ago, this six-pointed star is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's when the two unite and become one, okay? He didn't want us biting that tree until, and don't awaken that love before it's time. He wanted to do it. But the tree of life is where he connected me in my living room. And it literally through the spirit of the Mashiach, I was entered into heaven and I became a vessel. Get this is where, I'm going to get all the Christians now. I want to love this, let the judgments come. I had the whole host of heaven in me, basically. I was one with all of them. And through the Mashiach, he literally reconnected me to this tree of light. And Rebecca came into me, or Rachel came into me, was crying for her children. Next thing you know, I'm feeling these birthing pains. This was videotaped just somewhere. My kids were like, what's going on with that? And I'm giving birth, and literally water's gushing out of me, and it was going down the mountain and into the nations and all over the world. And it was just people and things and all kinds of stuff just rushing out of me. And it was Rachel crying for her children. And it finally gave birth, and then I got to be connected to this. It's Jacob's ladder, and I got connected to this tree of light, and it was basically I got to see their face. I want to see you, and it was just all spiritual, and all I could see was each one. I got to see she shared her face. Virgin Mary showed her face. I got to see Joseph, I believe, Abraham. I went all the way back to Enoch, and they put their faces through this. It looked like a flow of golden oil, and it's like they put their faces through that so I could see it. That was the only fleshy face that I could see. But I got to meet them all and the whole family. And I remember asking the rabbi, because I knew this was a Sabbath wedding. I go, there's this wedding taking place. Well, that's what happened. Because I asked him, I go, Jews don't get married on the Sabbath. Why was it a Jewish wedding? And now I know. It's because this Passover is going to unite Jew and Gentile. And the Jews are going to open their houses. As they open the door to Eliyahu, what they're doing is they're opening the door to the bride to come in. That's why they did videos. It looks like Greeks are coming to the door. That's who we are. That's prophetic, isn't it? So Yehuda, you're just a head, which was the black head on the lamb. You're just a head on a stick in the sand, he says. And you need to marry your body. So the true Jews are going to rise up now, starting with the Levites. This is how it begins. The Levites there's Levites in the kingdom of Yehuda and the kingdom of Ephraim. And so I came and signed that I was representing the kingdom of Ephraim. And I'm coming as that part of the heart, and I got to speak to my long lost brother that was of the kingdom of Levi. And that video is on there. Nobody's watching it. They don't understand what this thing was about. And so I'm letting it sit back and letting everybody bring judgments upon themselves because it's his will. And then when they're supposed to be known, they're going to get it. They're going to be like, oh. And then they're all going to get it. And then they're all going to be crying and sad and glorifying the King, who is really in all of us who accept his oil. So I've received his oil. That was Kabbalah, yes. So anyway, if you don't want to receive Kabbalah, then don't receive Kabbalah. It's not for you. You're a lower church. But do not put yourself above the King of Yerushalayim. Do not. Because that's when you're going to get burnt. I love you.
He does.
I love you.
Now, there are two telltale things that anyone, in my opinion, who loves the King would not miss. One of those telltale things is this very, you might call it a subtle point, because he didn't harp on it, because he didn't stand on the Mount of Olives every day and say it over and over and over again. Maybe people miss this subtle point, so I'm going to just share it with you. Subtle point number one, call no man.
Oh, Rabbi. That's what they're going to get. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm not certain.
Who did I call Rabbi, by
that.
the way? I mean, it is, huh? Oh, okay. Okay.
We all got confused about, but the king is king. He's not running for king. And when you love him, and if he shows you that look, you know, you call somebody rabbi and he gives you that look, like, how many times
him rabbi? How many people have called him rabbi and he didn't? Father, bring judgment upon every time he's been called rabbi. Even people did it and he took it as prideful and enjoyed it, because I was even called to be a rabbi upon rabbis. It was prophesied. Rabbi being teacher, but the one and only teacher, the one is my teacher, my rabbi is him. And he didn't like that. He wanted me to be under him. And I couldn't do that. That was upsetting the Father's heart. And then when he was trying to destroy the house, that's when Abba got angry. And then he didn't know how to take that. It's, who are you to do that to me? Well, apparently, I'm a higher Messiah than you are. Anyway, go ahead.
You're going to do it once, and you're never going to do it again if you love him. Okay? And you're going to repent. And maybe you'll have a talk with him. Why does that bother you? Why did you say that? Why did you tell us that? Maybe he'll explain to you what that means, what rabbi means, why he gets jealous about it, and why he literally commanded the disciples, "Oh, no man, rabbi. You have one rabbi." So that is a huge, to me, like, red flag, as you would call it, right? A red flag. Number two, red flag. So that's
enough
number
to make
one.
an
So when you have a
abomination,
rabbi,
anyway. I'm less than man. I don't know what to do. I'm talking the way other people talk, and I'm not.
It's a shame.
But I know they know very. They all know very clear. See, a rabbi is who you put yourself under.
Exactly.
So hallelujah, that's what he just did. He just proved himself that he has rabbis. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And my rabbi is him.
Yeah.
And until everybody's rabbi is him, I'm actually a walking example of it.
Yeah.
Because I listen to him only, and I respect others that he is in.
Yeah.
I got on my knees. He had no problem with that. Did you know? You saw it's on video. I got on my knees and said, "I will serve the king in you." I want to make very clear that I'm not going to sign your paper because I have one rabbi in heaven. So you just brought judgment upon yourself because you wanted me to be under your authority as my rabbi.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for. But he likes to be there. He's judging from the outside and judging in. But who is living the walk? It's not a matter of what you say as much as what you do.
Right.
So by evidence, who is my rabbi, Stone? Who is my rabbi?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But who's his rabbi? Obviously, it's other people as well. He says he's under authority. He said he was under authority.
Yeah.
He's put me under nobody's authority. He won't allow me to be under. But he made a comment that he has leaders above him too.
Yeah.
And I asked who they were. He wouldn't tell me.
No, it's important what you said about that, because the way they've changed the words is really unfortunate. It's like when people say Adonai means Lord. It doesn't. Adon means Lord. Adonai means my Lord. It's all about putting yourself under. So they changed the way to, like, if you say Rav, that's okay. So maybe we should say Rav instead of Rabbi.
Okay. All I know is that by proof, you can prove that I have no rabbi above me.
Right.
You can prove that. And see, that was what I was supposed to be a walking example of. I was supposed to be the measuring stick, which was given to me, and why he wanted me to carry this stick. It's the first stone laying down, which was why I had to kill the lamb. I forget what I was saying. It's such a deep. I go up and down this ladder, so when I'm here, I forget what I was thinking up here, because something brought me back down to the flesh, and it's usually some kind of insecurity or something. I'm just a man, just like Moshe. He mumbled, he stumbled at talking, and even talks about a stumbling tongue, doesn't it? And anyway, praise God. All I know is you can prove who my master is just by listening and doing. So I can prove who your master is, because as soon as he said, "You were right, Malki," then I had calls from his house all apologizing for what they said about me.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he said, oh, something's wrong with this man, he's looking at whatever, now everybody, I'm the evil. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is how it goes on with everybody on this earth.
But they're gonna try and get you with words.
Exactly, and it's because they want to build a kingdom on this earth. That's why I'm here and knock people's kingdoms down.
Yeah.
It's because that's what they're building, is their own kingdom.
Yeah.
And I am here, and she just accused me of what, the last thing I want to do. I laugh at him when he tells me this stuff. I tell him all the time, I can't even rule my household half the time. So I don't know how he's going to do that, but you know what he says to me? He goes, as long as you just hear and do, I do it. So I have to just be in this. And he gives me my household so that I can understand his household. So now I understand Ephraim because I have an Ephraim. I can understand Yehuda because I have a Yehuda. And I can understand the bride because I have a bride. And so this is so interesting because this is how one lamb bringing judgment to the whole world, starting with the leaders first. Yeah. This was judging the Jews too. Because they were a lot of them were against this. They didn't like a goy coming and doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're jealous. Yeah. But do you know what he said about the rabbi? He goes, all these rabbis, if they died, what did they say? Or if they found out they were goy, they weren't really Jewish, what would the first thing they would do?
Go do a sacrifice.
And one guy, most of the people, they said, well, I would go convert.
Yeah.
And then one rabbi, the one guy says, no, I would go do a sacrifice. Yeah. Here's the deal. This is what I know now. This is what he's been teaching me for years. It's all him. Yahweh Echad. So when you have, the tree of life. So you guys don't even know what the tree of life is. And I'm sharing knowledge here I'm sharing my pearls, but let it burn the swine. Let him eat it and burn it, but the whole tree of life is nothing but magnetic spectrum. It's the family tree within the spectrum. So each one of the family from Abraham down, or from creation down, that's pure bloodline, that he protected and hid too, was a bloodline of frequencies, and it's literally his temple. And he shows me how it goes and everything. He said he was making fun of me for saying it was a pyramid. I see a pyramid. I do see a pyramid. He showed it to me. That's actually that pyramid that was built out. That's the altar that Enoch built. It's why it has 144,000 capstones, because each one of those capstones has a kingdom. But when you assume that your kingdom is higher than somebody else's, and now he's literally bringing up the bottom, the meek, that didn't care to have goodly words and to be able to be to be on the limelight. This is so not me, and she just blamed me for it. So that's where the judgments are coming. This stick is about judgment. Let it come. It's righteous judgment. I love you guys. That's why it's coming. But just so you know, it angers him inside of me. Same anger I felt when I went to do the cross and kiss the icon. It's his anger that rises up in me, and you think it's evil because it's fire and it burns. They won't be near. That's why you go where you belong. That's why he said the church and the light above you and the church light below you are going to seem evil to you. All of them below you and all of them above you. That's how you know where you belong. And that's what I'm here to separate. By what I do in this fire, it separates. People that have ears to hear and eyes to see, they see this. And they're contacting you like, oh my gosh, you just connected this, you just connected that. When Stone was in your house, he felt nothing but condemnation all the time. Yeah. Did you say you wanted to commit suicide?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them?
Well, man.
Every time Abba would teach me something, Peter would say the exact opposite on the video, and I pray.
You know why it was? He was testing you. Are you going to listen to him, or are you going to listen to me?
Exactly, and that's why I rose up against Peter. That was my test to see if I would do that. Because Peter would present himself like he would basically, Peter would say, if you reject me, talking about himself, then you reject the Mashiach.
Really?
Yeah.
He said that?
He said, if you reject the one he sent, you reject him. And anyway.
Let the judgments be right there. There is all these spoken words, unfortunately. Father, I'm going to be getting all kinds of stuff too, but that's how the bride readies herself. Yeah. He just brought judgment upon himself. Yeah. Because he sent me to be above you. And you can't handle that. Because he can't see it. He doesn't have eyes to see. But it's burning him. Yeah. And his house. But go ahead. What were you saying? Some more.
Anyway, as I'm getting deeper with Abba, I get all this condemnation for Peter, and I wanted to kill myself because of it. Because it's like, Abba, I'm getting closer to you, but this man's making me feel like I'm evil.
He would make me feel condemned too every time I listened to him. Like if I didn't give him money, in that time, that I felt like I was not a part of his house, and I'm like, but I know I am. I mean, what is this? But then he wouldn't let me sign anything. He's like, no, you don't understand. You're the king of all these kings.
Yeah.
And that's a real tough thing to understand. I know that. Trust me, I'm thinking the same thing. What if I am the abomination of desolation up there? I asked him the same thing. What'd you tell me?
This man is up there proclaiming the name of Yahweh and the Mashiach to Jews, and you're calling it an abomination. That's just stupid.
And I'm thinking of all the things that I'm doing. I'm putting my life down. And constantly, that's what he said. As you cast your stones at me, I'll build my temple.
Yeah.
And all I did was, I'm doing what he's telling me to do. Letting him live more in me than you.
And I know Peter likes to say, oh, they're Khazarians, none of them were real Jews. And of course,
that's not true.
There's a lot of fake Jews here, but if you actually knew the scriptures, you would know that the kingdom of Yehuda, there was always something intact of it.
That's why he's going to probably remove 90% of the people here in Yerushalayim. Because only those who can withstand the fire can be here. And he's going to bring in his children that belong here, his bride. That's what the crying was, and that's what broke that Levite's heart. When I said, Abba, and I was crying, looking over this lamb, and I put my head down in it, going, Abba, bring your children home. Cleanse the land, I said, and bring your children home. I didn't know what I was going to pray for. I don't know what I'm doing. But they said I brought evil, demonic spirits in me. And may the judgments come. May the judgments come. He gets so angry in me. He's like, they're talking about my son, the one that listens to me. They're afraid. They all like to be in their groups and clubs. And that's what it is. That's what all of these things are. But this new group and club has to do with the fire. And only those who can withstand and know him can be at the top. And you're not higher, King of Naphtali. You're pretty far away from the fire. So I would be careful judging it, because you're judging things you don't understand, and that's why you're judging it, because it seems evil to you. It seems a cult. And code searcher too. Wow, code searcher. If I was ignorant, I would say, wow, what kind of sorcery is this, or divination is this? You're taking computers and trying to find hidden meanings inside of deep, Bible words and letters and all this stuff, and try to make these connections and divine the future. Wouldn't that be divining? Wouldn't that divining? Huh? Wow. But you know what? You actually proved so many things for me, so I'm okay with it, because you actually blessed me in what I'm doing. All these things that you were writing down and saying I was fulfilling on so many things. I don't even remember now, but I was fulfilling on Mount Zion, which is not where everybody else says it is. I'm going to the land that he took me to. And that's where he's telling me 144,000 are going to come up to learn about him. And we're the bride. And I'm here to take the land. Even the police are scared of me. The pastors, I chased a Jew off of there. This is what's happening. A woman still limps, I think, because of me too, because she refused to stop using the name Jesus. I think, I'm not sure. I saw, anyway. I hope not. I'm not that kind of person. But all I know is he rises up within me, and he's a lion now. And when I get up there, especially here, I'm like, I don't know, it's like I'm a lion on my property. It's very strange. I have no reason to feel that authority other than he lives in me. Because I don't even, honestly, I love my island of Greece more. It's so beautiful and got beaches and beautiful landscape, and the night, it's beautiful, and I love that. Even the Greek culture too. But he says, you're Yerushalayim. Go to your house. And he even showed me my house here before I even knew it existed, before it was built, actually. And now I see it, and it's still for sale. It won't be sold because it's mine. So, are you trying to tell me that I'm at evil spirits coming in? Wow. Why is it all evil spirits? What brought him there? Just because it's like, oh, he is the Lamb, he is that, but they don't understand how this is coming, do they? This has always been the case from all the Pharisees from the past. It's the leaven of the Pharisees. They want to take the high place, so they have to know. So when they don't know, they're still making things up so they sound like they know.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It just sounds good.
Yeah.
When he was talking, I totally against. God was using him to test me all the time. Like, it would make me feel condemnation.
Yeah.
It's like, do I not feel you? Is it not you? He's like, so I had to, listen to him. And then I started to see after living with him, him staying with us, I started to see what what the truth was. Yeah. And I started to see these things. So, anyway.
It was just like with Leland too. He's like, I gotta let the people know what's going on. It's like, you have no idea what's going on.
Well, that's the thing. They're judging from them, but that's what's bringing judgment on them. Judge, lest be. And I can bring my accusers to.
Of course.
And anybody that attacks me, I can. And if they're found guilty, I can plunder them. And this is spiritual, guys. This has to do with the gifts. I can actually take your gifts from you. That's what he tells me. I don't do that, and I don't know, but I'm understanding. Well, I did this recently. I can't say I don't do that because he's just been saying to me, no, take it. They're refusing to use it for the kingdom. That was the gift that was for Israel, and they're refusing it. They just want to build themselves up.
Yeah. So
he says, take it. And I only know because I've been attacked several times. And one time was here, I knew it was an Armenian priest, and he almost killed me. He almost took my whole essence out. And it's scary. It's a scary feeling, but it's like Korah going down. They don't understand what they're doing. So I have a lot of patience, believe it or not. I have a lot. But I can do things that, anyway. Okay, go ahead. That's what he's teaching me now.
Purporting themselves to be a rabbi. Now they're a Messiah competitor. Okay, that's how I see it. You're a Messiah competitor, and if you're a competitor of Messiah, then we already have resolved this matter of who is Messiah. So I don't need the competition of who is Messiah. I don't need to debate whether you have a new insight, and then you have a new insight, and then you have a new insight, because Messiah warned us not to do that. Okay? And he told us if they say out here, don't go there.
That's so opposite of what he's telling me.
It's opposite of what the scriptures say. It's funny, Peter saw the word, but you obviously don't know it at all.
Why? Where did he? Because I know he's telling me the Messiahs are going to be coming up. We're all learning. We all have a piece of him. That's why I knelt down in front of him and said, I'll serve the Messiah in you. Yeah. He had no problem with me doing that. He didn't say, get out from there.
Yeah.
He loved it. As a matter of fact, when I joked around with him and I said, you're like the Godfather. He says, kiss the ring. He loved it.
I know.
That's what he wants. That's his vision of who he is. And guess what? That's the exact opposite of who I am. That's not me. I don't want that. How often you said you're my servant and you try to help me, it drives me crazy.
I know.
I'm constantly saying, I won't accept it. He said, why can't you just receive? I said, I can't. Because I don't want that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you helping me. That every movement hurts. And I appreciate you moving for me. But at times it's like, oh my gosh, that's not me. I don't want to be served. I'd rather serve. But he actually, I know he washed my feet, not just because it was to make himself higher. It wasn't anything. And anyway. Peter, I'm sorry. I see your pride. Okay? And it's always been there, apparently, since day one. Right?
He's talking about Messiah competitors and people who call themselves rabbis, but it clearly says Yehuda isn't supposed to see the Messiah yet. It said they were kept in the darkness, so that's...
Oh yeah, that's what Paul said. Don't be ignorant of this one thing.
Yeah.
Yehuda was kept in the dark for a season to allow the Gentiles in.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. We're coming home with the light.
Yeah.
And we're exposing these things, and the light is literally his light. It's Kabbalah. And so what they like to do is, because they might know the scriptures better and they've been studying it their whole life, it doesn't mean they know him. Yeah. That's why, where did the Messiah go to when he came? Did he go to the ones that knew the scriptures? No, because they couldn't receive him.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the letter kills.
In the pride.
Yeah.
It's the leaven of the Pharisees. And they couldn't receive that. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like, it's this prideful thing that I know the scriptures better than you. You can't be the Messiah, or you can't be this, or you can't be that, because isn't your mom Joseph? Isn't your dad Joseph and your mom Miriam? Aren't you just one of them? Here we are. We built a kingdom over here.
Yeah.
And they were bought into the kingdom. It was